Hello students, in this kinetic theory next 2 points are left out. One is the specific heat of the water. For the solids we have discussed already, specific heat is equal, for solids is 3R, for the water molecules it is 9R, you have to remember on the final value. And water molecule compared with the solids they have taken, solids don't have the volume expansion much, and molecules cannot have the kinetic translated kinetic energy, they only have the vibrational kinetic energy. But water molecules actually they spin, means they do have a rotational motion. And in the case of the microwaves frequency and rotation frequency of the water molecules are equal. Whenever that microwaves are passed to the water molecules or any food with the water content, water molecules vibrate and also rotate. That rotation provides the friction and molecules get heated up. But in this in these cases what we are considering is only vibrational modes, not other modes. So in this case here, if you imagine one water molecule in the form of a cubical structure, then it 3 directions of vibration are considering this. Each water molecule we are taking here vibrating in all directions, 3 directions in the x, y, z axis. Then the degrees of freedom for the 3 vibrations, each vibration degrees of freedom is 2, and 3 degrees of freedom means what? Into 3 you have to take, 3 modes equal to 3 into you have to take. So total becomes equal to, each degree of freedom energy is half kT. So total energy for the 3 cases becomes equal to 3 into 2 into half kT, which is equals to 2 cancels, 3 kT it becomes. But it has 3 molecules, 2 hydrogen atoms, 1 oxygen atom. So because of 3 modes, each one separately, each water molecule separately, if you check up, number of molecules is equals to 3 if you have taken, then total energy for the molecule becomes equal to, average of one molecule becomes equal to 3 into whatever you have got the energy before, which becomes equal to 3 into 3 is 9 kT, which equals to 9 into mu RT. And CV, imagine that the volume is constant with the change of temperature, actually changes, but we are imagining that the volume is constant if you have taken, then that means for small changes. CV, specific heat at constant volume, is specific molar specific heat at constant volume is equals to dq by mu dt. Differentiation becomes equal to only 9R remains. Differentiation with respect to time, and mu is a constant, take out the left side it here, and the CV becomes equal to 9R, value you have to remember. Next point is mean free path of the gas particles. Gas particles move randomly in all directions, not talking about the wind only, just particles in a container we are discussing, they travel in different directions. At a given temperature they have the more kinetic energy, more randomly they are traveling it, and each gas molecule with other molecules, and the collision is elastic collision for the ideal gases, non-elastic collision for the real gases. But high temperatures in the real gas also we take nearly equal to elastic collisions. If you want one molecule to hit with other molecule traveling, in this case this is one molecule, this is center point, and another molecule has to touch, means the distance this between the surface to surface molecule, the distance from center to center should be at least equal to 2 times the radius. We are taking the same size molecules approximately, then R and R becomes equal to 2R at least required. If you play the carom boards also, if you want to keep the striker with the coin, the distance between these two centers or surface should touch with the surface. That means the perpendicular distance between the 2 paths or velocities should be at least equal to the 2 times the radius, or if equal radius is there, otherwise R1 plus R2. This is called as the impact parameter. It is the perpendicular distance between the 2 parallel lines passing through the center of the molecules or particles or objects. Impact parameter is 0, means head-on collision, means center to center collision is B equal to 0. If the B is more than the R1 plus R2, that means one molecule is here, other molecule is here, not touching here. So B is more than the sum of the 2 radius, then there is no collision. So minimum condition required is B is equals to 2R is the collision required. So we are taking the molecules here in the cylindrical imagination, that one molecule is at rest, another molecule is hitting this. So this molecule has to hit this other molecule, means the distance between the center to center, that means the radius, identical molecules are taking homogeneous. So this radius plus radius equals to 2 diameters. The center to center distance by impact part must be equal to at least diameter of the molecules. D is equals to 2R, we are taking R is the radius of each molecule. Imagine the molecule as a spherical structure, and it is what is the mean free path? It is the average distance travelled by the air molecule. The distance travelled by the air molecule between 2 successive collisions. After hitting it may bounce back and random direction to travel, but the average distance travelled by the gas particle between 2 successive collisions is called as a mean free path or average free path. Symbol is taken as L, sometimes may be taken as lambda mean or lambda. Next, for the derivation of the expression for this mean free path, we take the few molecules, 2 molecules only we can take, 3 given in the textbook. I also draw the 3 but not necessary, 2 we can take, and just to show it as a volume cases we are taking the 3 molecules. And here center, this molecule just touching the upper surface, this molecule just touching the bottom surface. Then volume of this container, imaginary volume of the cylindrical container containing these 3 molecules are just 2 molecules to hit, is volume is equals to area into length. The distance between the molecules before hitting is L. That is going to be the mean free path. If multiple gases are taken, at the finally we take as the mean free path. Now we are first taking only that is L equal to the distance between the 2 particles only, and time taken to touch hit is nothing but equal to delta T we take. Delta T is the time of the hitting of the 2 particles. We imagine one particle at rest, other particle is in motion, but practically all particles are moving randomly in all directions. Next, velocity equal to average speed of this particle is nothing but equal to distance by time. Distance is L by delta T. So time of hitting is nothing but equal to delta T is nothing but equal to L by V. Next, consider the molecules in the cylindrical volume. This as in the figure. This is as in figure. Space of the volume space. It is volume space. One word of radius equal to D. It is actual diameter. We are considering the total bigger cylindrical portion of the radius is equals to D. That is 2r. Length is equals to V average speed into delta T, where V is the mean average speed or mean speed of the particles, delta T is the time of collision between these 2 particles. We are taking first only 2 particles collision. The molecule at rest, first molecule is at rest and second other molecule is in motion we are imagining with velocity V mean. Next, volume of the cylinder becomes equal to area into length or area into height. Area is nothing but equal to pi d square into length, distance between particles is nothing but this much. It is nothing but equal to L. L is nothing but equal to velocity into time of hitting. And if you take the all particles, many particles in this one, not only 2, many particles are present moving randomly, then number of particles per unit volume it's called as equals to number of particles by volume of this gas. Volume substitute here, you will get the number of particles N is equals to N into V. This is the volume density of the gases, particle density of the gases also we can say, which is nothing but equal to pi N. Density we take a mass by volume also, but you are taking the number of particles terms, particle density. This capital N becomes equal to N into V. V is this value, area into length. Pi N d square into V mean into delta T. Frequency of the collision, number of how many frequencies per second is because the frequency of collision is nothing but divided with the time with the number of particles possibility of collision is N. Number of particles N means L will be colliding with each other if you have taken. Then N by T becomes equal to frequency of collision, which is equals to becomes is pi N d square into V mean. And this mean velocity is replaced with the relative velocity. Mean velocity is replaced with the relative velocity. Relative velocity why? Because when for all particles are taken means previously we imagined one particle at rest, but actually all particles are moving each other towards each other and different opposite direction, same direction also. So if you take the collision taking place in the same direction, if you have taken, then relative velocity is nothing but equal to sum of the 2 velocities. But we are taking the form of the vector relation if you have taken, and mean relative velocity in terms of the mean velocities if you have taken, and mean square velocities, what you get is root 2 times you will get. Then taking the root mean square velocity and then mean velocity. Root mean square velocity is nothing but equal to mean of square of the velocities. These are RMS velocities. Now we are taking it as a relative velocities. Then what you get here is sum of the 2 velocities, you are taking the same velocities, particles are the average velocity of the particles is equivalent. The result is sum of the 2 values becomes equal to root 2 times the relative velocity. So mean velocity wherever is there, that only replace with that as a relative velocity from the beginning. Don't take a relative velocity equal to 1 by root of mean, don't take it. Relative mean velocity only replace with that as a root 2 times relative velocities. Then in this expression we replace with the V relative. The time interval, this is a frequency. Frequency is inversely related to the time interval or time period. The time interval with the 2 successive collision becomes equal to reciprocal of this frequency of the collisions, which is becomes equal to 1 by root 2 pi N d square into V relative. This relative velocity, mean velocity replaced with the relative velocity, and root 2 also came here extra. So mean free path distance. Now for the multiple, these only 2 particles, you are taking the many N particles you have taken, then the mean free path becomes equal to V relative velocity into time. Velocity in time is nothing but equal to distance. That is the mean free path. Time of collisions or time interval of collisions. Then L is equals to V relative is V relative. This cross multiply here. V relative into tau. Time of interval of collision is tau taken. So V relative tau is equals to this part remains here. So that is L. L equal to V into tau is nothing but equal 1 by root 2 into pi and d square is the formula you have to remember for the problems. N is nothing but small n is nothing but equal to small n is nothing but equal to number of molecules per in the given volume or per unit volume we take. So if you take the relationship PV equal to NKT, n number of n equal to n by V. So n by V, if you have taken this formula, becomes equal to P by KBT. KB is the Boltzmann constant, T is the absolute temperature. So wherever n is there, you can replace with the P by KBT. P by K into T is also taken for the formula for the mean free path. If required in the gas constant relation, PV equal to mu RT also we can take, but you are taking in terms of the number of particles relation is this, but K you can take and replace with the R also whenever it is required. Next point, students, this Dalton's law of partial pressure. Dalton's law of partial pressure. If you take the mixture of the gases in a container, the total pressure is nothing but the sum of the individual pressures that can exert. That itself is called the Dalton's law of partial pressure. Total pressure is nothing but equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3 and so on, Pn, any number of gases you taken. Just directly you can take that number of pressures. But how do you take the addition relation? That is nothing but equal to PV equal to nRT. You take the number of particles added. If you have to calculate in the problems, not calculate temperature, resultant pressure, etc. PV equal to nRT if you mu RT if you have taken, or nKT if you have taken. Total moles is nothing but equal to mu1 plus mu2 for the problems purpose, plus and so on you have to take it out. What is mu equal to PV by RT? So PV by RT resultant is equals to P1 V1 by RT1. R is a constant, of course, universal gas constant, plus mu2 means P2 V2 by R into T2. R cancels throughout, so left out is only PVT relations you have to take a summation of all the moles you have to take in terms of the particles are moles. Total mass, total particles is sum of the particles. Total pressure is nothing but equal to resultant pressure is sum of the pressures. Separately, if they whatever the individual gases you have taken, what pressure you can exert, that is something you have to take at a given STP or NTP. STP stands for standard temperature and pressure. That standard temperature and pressure means 0 degree centigrade and 1 atmosphere pressure. The atmosphere of the earth which is exerting because of its weight of height, whatever the air molecules of the atmosphere exert the pressure on the earth's surface at the sea level, that is called as a atmosphere pressure. 1 atmosphere pressure is nothing but equal to, did I mention it anywhere? 1 atmosphere pressure is nothing but equal to 1.01325 into 10 to the power of 5 pascals or Newton per square meter. 1 into 10 to the power of 5, just 10 to the power of 5 if you take, that is called as 1 bar. Pressure unit is bar. SI unit is pascals or Newton per square meters. And at STP, the temperature is 0 degree centigrade, which is equal to, converting into Kelvin, or 2 plus 273 is 273 Kelvins is temperature at STP, standard temperature and pressure. Pressure is 1 atmosphere is this value. And NTP means normal temperature. Normal temperature means room temperature you take, that is 27 degrees centigrade, means 300 Kelvin it becomes. NTP means 300 Kelvins at room temperatures. Next is Avogadro's law. Already you know this in the chemistry also, and in the gases topic also. Avogadro's number indicates what is, according to Avogadro's law, 1 mole of any gas has a number of particles which is equal to 6.22 into 10 to the power of 23. That is called Avogadro's number. And volume occupied by the gas, this is a volume at STP. 1 mole of gas the volume at STP, standard temperature pressure, is equal to 22.4 liters. Any gas volume is equal to this much you can take. Next, velocity of the sound in the gases. This will be getting in the sound topic. Velocity on the gases depends on temperature and molar mass as V equal to gamma RT by molar mass of the gases. The gamma is nothing but equal to ratio of the specificity of the gases. This is called the Laplace corrected formula for the velocity of the gases. Newton also gave, and Laplace also gave the relation for the velocity of sound in the gases only, for the sound in the gases. Sound in the liquids and solids different case, depending on the elastic properties. Next, RMS velocity of the gases is equal to 3RT by m. Taking the ratio of these two, velocity in the gases is nothing but equal to gamma by 3 you will get, under root gamma by 3. Gamma is nothing but equal to Cp by Cv. This depends only on the number of atoms in the gases. Monatomic gases 1.66, diatomic gases 1.4. Triatomic gases is approximately 4 by 3. It's for non-linear molecules, 4 by 3 means 1.33 you will get. Next is RMS types of the gas velocities. So we have the most probable velocities, and also RMS velocities and average velocities. Here I gave only 2, other required only for the competitive exams, and most probable velocity also not required for the up to case set. Next, V RMS is nothing but equal to 3, this already we derived 3 kT by m. which is equals to 3 by 2 times most probable speed. Most probable speed means in the gas particles when they are traveling, many more number of particles in the wind also take a more number of particles possess some particular speed, that is called as the most probable speed. And average speed also will be present some particles, average of the velocities, but RMS velocity is the effective value. Resultant velocity what we notice is nothing but equal to RMS. Next is Earth and Moon. If you check up, Earth has an atmosphere. Earth has atmosphere, Moon do not have atmosphere. Moon, no atmosphere. And Earth has atmosphere. Why? Because Earth has a large size and gravity's attraction is more, and escape velocity depends only on the escape velocity formula is nothing but equal to under root of 2g into r. R is the radius of the Earth, g is the acceleration to gravity, that is on the surface place. And escape velocity on the Earth, by calculating the value, substituting the values, you will get is 11.2 km per second. If you want to send any stone, any project into the air, a rocket, if you want to send project into the air and with this velocity, that will not come back to the Earth and it overcome the attraction of the Earth, escapes to the infinite distance, means long distance towards stars can be possible to escape. That means that is called as escape velocity for any object to escape from the gravitational force of attraction. Its value is 11.2 km per second for the Earth. But for the Moon, it is small in size. G Moon is 1/6 of the G Earth. R is the radius also very small. And Moon has this escape velocity. This escape velocity of the Moon is nothing but 2.4 km per second. But if you RMS velocity depends on the temperature, of course, and also depends on the type of the gas you are taking. But average calculation, if you check up for the Earth escape velocity is less than RMS velocities. For Earth, escape velocity is more than RMS velocity. RMS velocity of the gas particles, velocity of gas particle is less than that of the escape velocity of the Earth. If the gas particle gets enough velocity, 11.2 km per second at high temperature, they also escape from the Earth's surface. But at an ordinary temperature, whatever the possible on the Earth, the temperature do not reach to that high value, so that the escape velocity of gas particle can reach up to 11.2 km per second. Therefore, due to that reason, Earth is attracting the gas particles, and Earth has atmosphere. They are bound to the Earth's surface because their velocity is not reaching to 11.2 km per second for the Earth. But for the Moon, the escape velocity is very less, 2.4 km per second, and on the Moon the temperature can change to the value so that the RMS velocity exceeds maximum cases more than root mean square velocities, this more than escape velocities. So for the Moon RMS velocity is greater than escape velocity. Therefore, the particles escape into the space. Even if gas is produced by any reactions from the soil, from chemical reactions cases, if we produce also, even the persons release the gases there, they don't stand on the surface, they escape into the space. So, Moon do not have atmosphere, Earth has atmosphere because of this reason. Next, problems in from the textbook. 13.1. Estimate the refraction of the molar volume to the actual volume of the gas occupied by the oxygen gas at STP. Diameter of each molecule is given as oxygen molecule is 3 angstroms. So radius is nothing but equal to 3 by 2. It means 1 by 2, 1 by 1.5. 3 by 2 is 1.5 angstroms. 1 angstrom is 10 to the power minus 10 meters. And at STP they asked mu is 1 mole of the gas you are taking, and temperature is 0 degree centigrade at STP plus 273 is 273 kelvins. And radius is nothing but equal to 1.5 into 10 to the power of minus 5 meters. Volume of 1 mole of the gas, if you have taken volume of 1 molecule. Volume of 1 molecule you have taken means that each volume is nothing but equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube you will have. This 4 by 3 pi r cube substitution, and if you have the 1 mole of the gas, if you have taken the gas number of particles is 6.2 10 to the power of 23 particles if you have taken in this container. All the gas particles together, if you put one small place, the radius is, this value is 2r. This diameter is nothing but equal to 2r. And if you take all the molecules at one place, what is the total volume you can that gas can occupy? That into number of particles. That means 6.22022 in 10 to the power of 23 particles. If you multiply this, you will get the total volume of the gas particles by real sizes. So this is the actual size possibility. If you substitute this value 4 by 3 pi r cube into Avogadro's number, then you will get the volume as 8.5 something you will get extra into 10 to the power of minus 6 cubic meters approximately every 10. And but molar volume, according to that Avogadro's law, 1 mole of gas occupies 22.4 liters. So if you check up based on that, STP, any gas occupies a volume is equals to 22.4 liters, that is 1 mole. Mu is equals to 1 mole we have taken. In this case you are taking mu equal to 1 mole, both the cases, here and here. So 22.4 liters means 1 liter equal to 10 to the power of minus 3 cubic meters volume. And checking this volume to this volume, this is actually derived from the case of ideal gases, but real gases size is different. So this is a real gas relation, this is ideal gas condition. If you take the ratio of these two, you will get this as equal to 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meters, actual volume to the molar volumes. This 3.8 something you will get approximated to 4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 fraction ratios of the two volumes. One is actual one, another one is called as a molar volumes. This is a molar volume to actual volume. Next is this problem 13.2. Show that molar volume of the gas at STP is 22.4 liters. Already we have discussed this, but once again we will check up. Volume of the gas to mu is 1 mole you have taken, at STP means 0 degree centigrade is 273 kelvins. Pressure is 1 atmosphere is 1.013 to the power of 5 pascals. R, universal gas constant, is here radius, please careful with the symbols R, this is a radius, and we are discussing is the gas constant. This is a universal gas constant, means same for all gases. Gas constant. R equal to 8.31 to the power of 8.31 joule per mole per kelvins. Mu are taken is equals to 1 mole. So gas equation, ideal gas equation is PV equal to mu RT you have taken, and real gas approximate ideal gas at high temperature you have taken, but here at STP you are imagining at the ideal gases. V equal to mu RT by P. Volume we want to calculate, mu RT by P. Mu is 1 mole, 8.31 10 to 273 by pressure is atmosphere 1.013 to 5 10 to the power of 5. You can approximate this 1.01 also. You will get the value as 22.4 10 to the power of minus 3. After 4 some number comes 10 to the power of 3 minus 3 cubic meters it is. Converting it to liters now, 1 liter equal to 10 to the power of minus 3 cubic meters. So this will result becomes equal to volume is 22.4 liters. Hello students, next problem number 13.5. This is very important for the competitive exams. Air bubble of volume 1 cubic centimeter rises from the bottom of the lake to lake of depth 40 meters. Initial volume is 1 centimeter, deep of 40 cubic meters depth at 12 degrees centigrade. At bottom of the lake is 12 degrees centigrade, to the surface at 35 degrees centigrade. It is going to the surface at 35 degrees centigrade. Find the volume at the surface. They may ask in terms of the radius also. Volume is nothing but equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. We can find out the radius also and volume also relations. And from bottom to top it is going, why it is going upward direction any by air bubble is because the air is density is less than that of the surrounding liquid density. Therefore, due to that reason the air bubble is going upwards. If density of the object is more than that of the density of the liquid, it sinks. If it is equal means can be suspended anywhere. If it is less than that of the surrounding medium means it rises upward directions due to the upward buoyant forces or upward thrust. The depth of the water is given as 40 meters. 1 atmosphere pressure equivalent to water height column, water column if you have taken, 1 atmosphere pressure of the water is approximately equal to 10 meters of water. Is approximately equal to 10 meters water. Means if you take a water column of the 10 meters height, 10.33 you will get actually. That because pressure is nothing but equal to HdG for any liquids. Height of the liquid, density of the liquid into G. Substituting the values, you will get the corresponding pressure. For air molecules, you have taken height and density of the air means pressure equal to 1 atmosphere equal to, we will get as 1.01325 into the power of 25 pascals. Converting into water column, if you have taken water of height H, height of the water and density of the water you have to take. And G 9.8, you will get as equals to approximately height calculation of 1 atmosphere pressure calculation corresponding to that 1.01 10 to the power of 5 pascals 1 atmosphere. This height becomes equal to corresponding these 10 meters. So we can directly write 1 atmosphere as wherever required in terms of the water means 10 meters of water. In terms of mercury, if you take a density of mercury, height of the mercury equal to 1 atmosphere, if we equate it, that height of the mercury becomes equal to 76 millimeters of mercury or 7.6 centimeters of mercury, or 0.76 meters, just 7.6 centimeters of mercury if you have taken, that will be having the pressure equal to the top atmosphere pressure. Why? Because of the large density. Mercury has a very high density, 13.6 times that of the water density. Okay, leave that problem here, that you will be learning already in the gases topic. Thermal properties of gases, you get that point. This P2, pressure atmosphere pressure is equals to 1 atmosphere, the final pressure here. This is bottom one. So at the bottom, pressure is P1, that is 40 meters of the water, and this is HdG of water it means. dg same here, just we take the only in terms of the heights. Temperature at the bottom is 12 degrees centigrade, converted to Kelvin, it is equals to plus 273 is 285 kelvins. Initial volume here at the bottom is 1 cc. What remains constant as the bubble is going upwards is the quantity of number of particles inside the gas, inside the bubble remains constant. As it is going upward, the pressure equal to hdg. H is the depth here of the waters. So H decreases. Whenever the H decreases, the pressure, outside pressure decreases. When outside pressure decreases, inside the air pressure increases. Due to that reason, the size goes on increasing. As it reaches the topmost point, the pressure decreases, therefore volume increases. From the Boyle's law applicable for these bubbles, P is inversely proportional to volume because the number of particles is constant. But temperature is not constant here, temperature is also changing, therefore you have to use the complete equation of PV equal to mu RT relationship. But as going upwards, the volume increases, volume inversely proportional to P. Pressure decreases means volume increases. But here temperature is also changing due to reason the total relation PV equal to mu RT to take, but here mu is constant, number of particles or number of moles is constant, R is gas constant anyway, it is also constant. This whole thing is constant means PV is proportional to T, or PV by T equal to constant, P1 V1 by T1 equal to P2 V2 by T2. You have to calculate the final volume V2. Substitute the values, you will get the expression approximately equal to 4 × 10⁻⁶ cubic meters. 4 cubic centimeters you will get 1 cc it becomes equal to 4 cc, and in cubic meters means convert 1 meter equal to 10 to the power of 100 or 10 to the power of 2 centimeters. Substitution you will get 10 to the power of -6 cubic meters. Next problem 13.7. Find the thermal energy of the helium atom. Helium is a monatomic gas. At room temperature means 27 degrees centigrade is given, and helium is a monatomic gas, therefore degrees of freedom is 3 we have to take. Boltzmann constant is 1.3 to the power of -23 joule per Kelvin. Absolute temperature is 27 degrees centigrade plus 273 is 300 kelvins at room temperature, and average kinetic energy for this 3 degrees of freedom is equals to 3 by 2 kT. K is the Boltzmann constant. Substitute the values of this, you will get the energy equal to 6.2 to the power of -21 joules. I am leaving the calculations for you, please check up that. Next is at what temperature RMS velocity the average argon gas. Argon gas is equal to the RMS velocity of the helium gas, they asked. The molar mass of the molecular weight is given. It is the atomic weight actually in the atomic state, because we are taking the monatomic gases. Argon and helium both belong to the inert gases, they are monatomic gases. For this degrees of freedom equal to 3. F equal to 3 degrees of freedom. Therefore, V RMS becomes equal to RMS velocity, already you know the formula 3RT by M in terms of the R and T. This M is the molar mass. For argon it is 39.9. Small u is given. What is small u unit is? It is unit of the small particles called as the atomic mass unit or inferred atomic mass unit. That is the value is equal to 1.6 to the power of -27 kg. You don't need that value here because we are taking the ratio. The units will be cancelled. No need to convert the units. So velocity ratio, if you take no, velocity is proportional to T inverse proportional mass, molar mass. So V argon by V helium, E is equals to under root of T argon by M argon into V helium. E is nothing but equal to T helium by mass of the helium, molar mass of the helium. Substituting the values, you will get the expression for velocity of both are equal, they told. Sorry, both are equal means is equals to 1. When equal to 1, what you have to find out is V velocity of argon equal to velocity of the equal, they both are equal in this set. So velocity of the argon is equals to RMS velocity, equals to velocity of the helium, both are RMS. Equal means what is the temperature of argon, you have to find out, equal to how much. From this relation just calculate the values by substituting the data. Okay, with this the topic is finished.